Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another weekend market watch. Today is Saturday, January 18th. I just got out of bed. It is freezing where I'm at. It is like 4 degrees outside. Hopefully, you guys are staying warm. If you guys are also feeling the cold, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And let's go ahead and get straight into the market watch. So I'm going to be covering over some Primite stuff and some penny stocks and some other things, as well as Supreme Darkness since the sneak peek is this weekend. But as always, I want to go through the best selling of the week. So Fiendsmith the Engraver is $100. Lacrima's 13 to 15. Tract is 30. This is all about where I expected it to be. Engraver has gone down a little bit. Same thing with Tract and Lacrima. I think it's just people are maybe starting to get over the Fiendsmith hype. Not to say it isn't still good. It's just people are starting to want to play other things. So that's why I think the price is going down. It may also be because, the people who need them for big tournaments like YCS Orlando already have them. And the people who have them but aren't going or don't want them anymore are starting to offload them. Malice White Rabbit is 40 and Malice and Underground is down to 30. These have both dropped just a little bit, $5. Not super surprising. I think people are kind of over Malice. And that's not to say it isn't good. Again, it's just I think people are starting to look at different decks, especially in a post-Suda environment. Molcharmi Fulos is 80 and Perulia down here is 40. That's not super surprising considering we are edging closer and closer to the reprint. I just think that there is a good chance that I'm probably going to be holding on to my copies just because I don't want to go through the hassle of having to get them again. And also, I really don't know a lot of people who are actually buying them. I actually want to pull this up here and see. Recent sales data, average daily sold is 23. I mean, okay, so I guess there are some selling, but as you can see, it's dropped a lot. So I'm not super inclined to sell mine right now, but who knows? Maybe it probably is the smart thing to do, just considering there's a reprint coming, but it's not going to be for a couple months still. Deception of the Sinful Spoils is 40, LZ of the White Forest is 35, and Stellar is 20. These have all gone up, with Suda dropping literally this weekend and being playable next week. I wouldn't be surprised this is the last chance you get to buy things like a Stellar for like 20 and LZ for 35. You might be looking at something like 50 for LZ and 30 for a Stellar. So I wouldn't be surprised. And if I don't want to hear any complaints in the comment section. If it's like you forgot to buy it, you didn't buy it in time. I've been telling you for months it's gonna be good, it's gonna be playable, and I don't know what to do if you don't buy them. So let's see anything else. Jerusalem is still holding 20. This is a card that I do think will be in Rarity Collection. Or was it Quarter Century Stampede? Basically Rarity Collection 4. And this is a good card. It might be in there along with the other Bestials, so I wouldn't be surprised. Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragons down to 8. I believe this was holding like a $15 price tag there for a moment. It says only about 10. People are getting very hyped for the Max Metalmorph deck now that we get the Metal Flame Swordsman. I think this deck has a lot of potential, not only as a standalone deck, but also as a splashable engine. Maybe the problem is it doesn't beat out things like Fiendsmith and Sky Striker and everything else for a splashable engine. It's competing with space and pretty hard at that. The Ryugi Ultra Rare is it's up to like 6 or 7. I thought we were over this. I know Jesse Cotton did post a video, a deck profile playing this deck. I thought we were just over this. I thought we'd all figured out this deck was bad. But whatever. Varudris is still 20. This is going to be in Core Century Bonanza. This is a card that I do think is worth offloading, especially if you're not playing something like Yubel, or Ryugi, but whatever. On to Supreme Darkness. Now, Supreme Darkness is a really weird set. And it's really weird because if you look, there's not a single secret rare that edges out the price of the box right now. If we go and just set this high to low, right, the everything that's a QCR is beating out the price of a box. That's expected. You don't get them very often. Molcharmi Meows, which is debatably the worst Molcharmi, is just barely worth the price of a box. And that's kind of scary because it either means that the price of this box will be really low because nobody wants to open it, or there's just something that nobody's buying right now. And as a market watch, like, I would love to be able to say, oh yeah, this is what you're buying. But I don't know. I think that it's still pre-sale prices. There's a high likelihood that everything drops down. Like, just going through it right. Meowls is very situational. It's debatably not as good as Lancia because Lancia stops your Malice opponent's turn, whereas this just makes it so they have to do a conservative turn, right? A Bow is a very powerful card, but it's a one of. Elzet Azamina of the White Forest is the only, like, I think, super meta 3 of, that's a secret rare at least. And it's not being bought that frequently. There's not a standard amount to play. It's between 2 or 3. And not everyone's going to be playing this deck. This isn't like a staple card that's going to go in everything. It is a deck. It is like specified for the White Forest deck. The Mitsurugi cards I could see they going up, considering it is like, a pretty hyped up deck. The Primite Barrel Dragon. This is weird. I think this might be one of the most valuable cards in the set just because of the TCG errata. If you guys don't know, in the OCG, this card only activated on your standby phase. In the TCG, it activates in both standby phases. Or maybe it was end phase or something. Point is, instead of working half the time, it works all the time now, which is insane. It's a crazy buff. There's so many decks that would love to have something like that happen to them, but we got it for Primite, so kind of funny. The Mermail Atlantean stuff, I don't expect to be super popular. The Evil Hero stuff, I expect to be popular, but not good. The Tenyi stuff is maybe okay. I don't know. There's a lot of things that this is a very weird set. So, if you guys are going to pre-sales, I wish you luck. I might go to one today, but I really doubt it. I don't want to spend too much money on this set when almost nothing is worth it except the QCRs. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the Primite stuff. I want to talk about this. So Primite Lordly Load is up to $55, which is crazy considering it's a set that is still in print. You can still go and buy it. And with the release of the Blue Eye Structure deck, as well as things like Barrel Dragon, Ether Barrel, and the new support cards for it, and the fact that a lot of people are experimenting with it in a lot of different things, it does. I am inclined to say that maybe this stuff is good. Maybe I'll retract my statement. This is bad. That being said, Primite Lordly Load, I wouldn't recommend moving them at this point. I think that when the Blue Eye Structure deck drops, this is probably, you're looking at like a $65 to $80 card, somewhere between that. And I think that people are going to be willing to pay it because they want to play Blue Eyes, and Blue Eyes is really strong. Considering that it's the only thing, apart from obviously Magia, which you're not paying $1,000 for Magia. You're just not. This is pretty much the only card that is like expensive for the deck. Everything else is just in the structure. So I think people would be willing to pay $80, so like $200, plus the $30 for the structure deck to have a meta relevant deck. I think it's not far-fetched. Last thing I want to cover is the Fable card. So I think people just kind of forgot that Fable is getting support, and it is pretty decent support. So I just want to cover cards that you should look into if you want to pick up the Fable stuff. So Grimro is important for the deck. This card is pretty strong. If you control face-up Fabled monster, you can send this card from your graveyard to your hand. add a Fabled Monster other than itself. So it's just basically a Rhoda for the deck. You can see that there are some pretty cheap copies. That's the nice thing about this deck is because of Hidden Arsenal, you can get this entire deck fairly cheaply. But if you want some high rarity stuff, they're not too expensive right now, and I could see them going up in price. Things like Hidden Arsenal 2 Secrets and things like that definitely could go up. You're only looking at about $2 for a light play unlim, and if you want like a there we go. You're only looking at a couple bucks for a secret rare, and honestly, they do look pretty nice. Same thing with Fabled Curs. Curs again was in Hidden Arsenal 1, so you can get them for cents. But if you want to get some high rarity copies, they're not too expensive, and this card is really good for the deck. This card is, if it's discarded, select a level 4 lower Fabled, special summon it. Pretty nice. Fabled Kushano is also a really important card for the deck. Look, the dual terminal 2 printing is basically the only high rarity super. The Arsenal 2 super rare is also like nice, but this is the only high rarity printing. Fabled Ragin is a really important card for the deck, both because it is your like start for synchro bridging, and also it refills your hand. So you usually do play 2 of this, so you can pick up like some Hidden Arsenal 3 secrets for only a few dollars. Lastly, there are some penny stonks here. So Fabled Marcosia, Fabled Almanac, and Stairway to the Fabled Realm. These all came out in Blazing Vortex and the 2022 tins. They were all commons. I think one of these might have had a super or like a rare, I forget. But these are all pennies, and they are all going to be playable in the deck at 3. So yeah, Marcosia was a common, Almanac was a common, this was also common. So yeah, they're all commons. I don't think this is going to be something like Super Heavy Samurai Soul Piercer, where it's overnight a $5 card, but I do think that this could go from like 10 cents to like 50 cents to maybe $1, which if you have a bunch of these just lying around in your bulk, that's not bad. Like, it really isn't. And there's not a ton of listings. There's a lot of listings, but some people might just not want to buy these. I know it happens a lot. People don't want to buy the commons, like the penny cards from TCG Player, because they don't want to have to pay for the shipping. It's just something weird about it. So I don't know. Maybe you pick up a bunch of these, and when the Fabled support drops, I don't know. It's not in Supreme Darkness. I think it might be in Alliance Insider. It's in a different set. It's coming. The point is, the Fabled support is coming. The deck is playable. I don't want to say it's very good, but it is a deck that people like, especially after DZ has hyped the deck up so much. I think there are a lot of people who are going to be looking for these cards when they drop, and I think it's definitely some stocks. So that is the Market Watch for today. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you really enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, all that stuff. But I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace!